Well, hello, Internet people. We are actually about 10 days into a reading initiative that we're calling Read Together, where we're reading Scripture together using the Bible Project's Read Scripture app. So, how you doing? I hope you're doing good. I've been hearing lots of good reports. There's lots of you that are just really all about your quiet time. You have a very structured quiet time already. You're just slipping this in, or you're using this in place of something else. And I'm hearing all kinds of great things as we read together. There's some of us that just don't have as structured a quiet time or haven't experienced reading the Bible in this way before, and so maybe we're having a little bit more problems. And so there's like three things three things that I think could really be tripping us up here that I want to make sure that we're all avoiding. One of them is that the app that we picked does include a psalm every day that helps us to practice praying through the Psalms. But we actually will read the entire book later in context altogether. So you don't have to feel like if you skip that you won't read the whole Bible. We will read Psalms eventually. So if you're not really feeling the vibe as far as praying through the Psalms, or you don't really have the time to get all that much reading done, you can go ahead and skip that part. Just check it off as soon as you get, Genesis 1 through 3 or Genesis 10 through 12 or whatever today is. And don't worry about getting the Psalm in there, okay? The second thing that can be tripping us up right now is if you've never really read the Bible before, or it's been a long time, you're noticing already that the Bible is a very, very weird story, right? There's all kinds of weird stuff, deceptions and lies going on by people that are actually God's blessing, and it can be confusing, like, what am I supposed to take from this? Why is God choosing to bless these people? And the reality is the Old Testament narrative is there to show us that God's law is unachievable. His covenant is unattainable for us as broken race without Jesus. And the whole reason that Jesus has to come, live a perfect life, and be the sacrifice for us is that we just can never do this on our own. And so the Old Testament is supposed to be full of broken people doing broken things, just like we do. And so put it more in that context as you're reading through, and don't put these people up on a pedestal like everything that they do because they were blessed by God, everything they do was okay, or that God is blessing them even though they're doing evil. God blesses us a lot of times even though we sin and even though we don't make the proper choices. And so just put it more in that context. The third thing is all the genealogies. When you get to one major character and there's a break until another major character, a lot of times you've got Aham and Jaham and Jehoshaphat and Shaham, and you've got all this ham, and I didn't even think they were supposed to eat pork, so I'm not really sure why that happens. But the point is, you can spend a lot of time just trying to pronounce their names, and the genealogies are really just there for us to study, to be able to trace the lineage of Jesus all the way back, to be able to compare it to other historical things and prove certain times and facts that are in the Bible. But since we're just reading it through straight and strictly as a narrative, and it's not really that important to the story that you memorize all of Jacob's cousins, go ahead and skim through those, see if there's anything else besides just the names that's pertinent to the narrative. If not, just skip them all together. And that way it will save you a lot of time and frustration trying to memorize the entire family tree. So that's a look at some of the pitfalls that could be holding us back. One of the other things I wanted to encourage against is don't skip the videos. One of the reasons we picked this reading plan is because these videos are really good at showing you what you're reading ahead of time, helping explain exactly where the Bible is going, so that as you're reading you're like, because a lot of times if you just start reading and you don't know what's going on, you're going to stop reading. So you'll actually read more. You might think, hey, I don't have the time for these videos, I really want to just do the reading. You'll actually read more, I think, if you take the time to watch the videos, because it'll keep you interested even in those couple chapters here and there where you're like, oh, I'm not really sure what's going on here. You'll be able to think back to the video and draw on that, okay? Also, like, as you find weeks where you just get really far behind or whatever, just you've got the video that will catch you up to the next one. So, like, for instance, when we get to Exodus, if you're a week and a half behind, you may or may not be able to catch that up at some other period, but just watch the video for Exodus. Start with us in Exodus, you're going to get most of the Bible read. You might miss, you might be a little bit behind here or there, but if you get behind 2-3 weeks, eventually you're just going to quit. You're going to end up being in Leviticus somewhere in February, and that's as far as you're going to go. If you stay with us, if you just stay with the videos, let that catch you up on anything that you can't fit into your reading time, you're going to be able to make it through most of the Bible this year, and you'll be able to build on that in years to come. So I want you guys to all stick with it. I'm glad to hear so many people are doing so good, and if you're not, hopefully this helps you out a little bit. Can't wait to see where we go from here. So take care, and until next time, God bless.